Hello, this is Rebecca Roseberry, and I am a Columbia Southern University student, and this assignment is for EMS Systems Design 4320, and this is my program Psychological First Aid for First Responders. So let's go ahead and take an overview look at what peer support is. So why peer support is a vital sign in our employees we often neglect to take. Repeated exposure to the inherent nature of emergency response is a long-standing fallacy that we are continually fit for duty. The sobering truth is that we cannot continue on our current trajectory. First responders do not thrive without the emotional support of their agencies, colleagues, community, and family. The stigma exists that asking for help is weak, when in reality, asking for help is the attribute of the brave. When first responder suicide is on the rise, employment-related comorbidity disorders, it's time we start admitting the side effects of public service work are very real, which includes substance abuse, post-traumatic stress disorder, insomnia, mood disruption, and interpersonal relationship strain, and often a financial burden, loss of career, and even loss of life. Let's look at a peer support program and what is involved. Let's talk about 7 key principles. So we have a peer support team that needs to be 10% of the agency, and at least one member from each department should be the peer lead, that is dispatch, operations, education, management, and billing, however your department or EMS agency is structured. It generally is volunteer-based with the potential to have it be a stipend position in the future, and that's very agency dependent. We have an interest list and interviews with an embedded clinician and peer support lead, so that is bringing on new peer support members. The initial training is a 16-hour CISM course, Critical Incident Stress Management for Individuals, which teaches the basics of psychological first aid and basically that it is not therapy and how to stabilize a situation. And then within 1 year, we also offer a 16-hour Critical Incident Stress Management course for groups. Within those roles and duties, you have the ability to take peer support on-call shifts with the ability to respond to email, phone, and in-person requests that may happen while on duty or at base. You must be within 30 minutes of the base during a peer support shift so you can respond either to base or to an incident scene or at a hospital to meet a crew. And you have to maintain confidentiality, you have to be compassionate and abide by all company policies related to peer support program. This model is based on REMSA Health's peer support program in Reno, Nevada, which I was directly a part of for quite some time. Moving on. The demographic of a peer supporter. So peers want to talk to peers. This is not formal counseling, it is emotional first aid. These are our colleagues who get it and are trained to stabilize the individual or groups. This is generally immediate and lasts 24 to 48 hours after a triggering or difficult incident. And it should be noted that the use of peer support can also be for personal reasons. That can be stress related to any home disruption, so that's with children or spouses or financial problems or addictions. They really can use your EAP services and peer support for any reason. It doesn't have to be just trauma related to the job. So emotional first aid training for peer support is that critical incident stress management, which initial is 16 hours, and that will be taught by a licensed therapist, generally that works in some sort of regional peer support network or is the bedded clinician within an agency. And then again, we have the continuation of that course, which is critical incident stress management for groups, which is also 16 hours and covers more complex debriefs, which in some instances, when there's a line of duty death, those instances can last for upwards of a week, several weeks, or a month, and for some agencies it may even be taking place over the course of an entire year as people heal from grief. So I'm going to continue this lecture with the Safer R model, and we'll go ahead and pause this video here and then restart it shortly.